Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic: would you live in a van for 6 months for $100,000 and why? If I had $100,000 I would probably use it to buy a van to live in. That's what I said. For years now I've wanted to live in a van. Not permanently, but for 6 months or so. The main thing stopping me is that good camper vans cost a lot. Edit, since y'all started a conversation about it, I think something like this would be my dream van, https://sportsmobile.com. If you buy a decent bigger van that runs good you can convert them to livable fairly cheap if you're willing to put the work in. I'd live in a garbage can for 6 months for that money. Edit, Yori, my highest rated comment is about living in a garbage can. What a time to be alive. Oscar. Edit, how do you think I feel? All I fucking did was say Oscar. Not sure that movie would do well at the Academy Awards. Don't people pay upwards of 100 Kelvin to buy a van and do this for real? I know at least one person who genuinely wants to do this. Instagram people who want to go on weekenders and be an influencer spend $100,000 on a van. The rest of us are more in the $5-10 Kelvin neighborhood, maybe a little higher for some. What it is about becoming a transient rubber tramp that makes people think you need a bunch of money. It's literally just voluntary homelessness. It is incredibly cheap living. I'm not part of this community, but I wonder if the airbrushed IG influencer van life has raised prices or damaged things for those living well, normally. There was a rush to buy them mid-pandemic here and apparently prices skyrocketed briefly as well. When I looked for a friend I was absolutely floored at the cost of even tiny standard things. I did this for a year already, pay me. Edit, paid in gold, nice. Sorry, all I got is upvotes. Updotes are an acceptable form of payment. Why you ask? Why, it's $100,000, that's why. Even converting the money in my own currency £72,000 is still a lot of money. These kind of questions are always just another cake or death scenario. I'll take the cake. Yeah, because I'm not a fucking idiot. It's another one of those questions, would you do a mild inconvenience for tons of money kinda deals? Well, of course we would. Those questions get asked for karma. I mean, no one would assume that this starts some kind of great discussion about life, etc. As long as I have food, water and all the necessary stuff to live, I definitively would. You get 100 Kelvin. That's all you need to survive. Well, you need the money up front, or 6 months worth of credit. But, yes. As long as it's down by the river. Only if Matt Foley is my neighbor. And if he brings enough coffee to drink for 4 hours. No fucky way I'm paying $100,000 to live in a van for 6 months. This guy is the only interesting response in the thread. Also a valid one based on the ambiguity of the title. I'm with you though. Yes. The reason is the money. Yeah, these questions are ridiculous considering that, for instance, $100,000 for 6 months is over 3 times more than the median income. The more interesting question than would you do, mildly bad thing, for a ton of money, is what amount would you accept to do, bad thing. Treat it like a reverse auction in your mind. How low would you go? Renovate the van, make it comfortable, defo worth it for 100 Kelvin. It'd be perfect as long as I have access to a public bath/shower area that I can clean up regularly for cheap/free. Some truck drivers actually do this to save money instead of renting a home. They can do this for a few decades and retire comfortably at a proper home afterward. Just got a gym membership at a place like Planet Fitness, $10/month and open 24 hours a day. No, I make decent money and I am a bougie bitch and like my creature comforts. I also wouldn't do it. 100 Kelvin is not a life-changing amount for me right now. I like the house I live in and using the things I have in it. I think most folks in this thread wouldn't actually step up to the challenge when it came to figuring out how to live their life out of a van. Got pets? Do you remote into work? Where do you go to shower? Does it get cold where you live? Are you responsible for feeding yourself and staying warm while in said van? There's a ton of sacrifice in the fine print. It works best if you're young and don't have much to your name, and even then, it will suck serious ass. Would not recommend unless you have an idea what it's like. With you there. It's kinda weird, like I work to afford my lifestyle, but living in a van and 100 Kelvin would allow me to keep doing so. But would I rather be comfortable over those 6 months than have 100 Kelvin flat out? I think I'd say no as well. A few years back the company I had been working for folded, but they gave everyone a pretty healthy severance package. I spent the summer just living off that while I lined up a new job in another city. As I was moving to the new city I took the scenic route and saw an old VW camper van for sale for a pretty reasonable amount. I'm still kicking myself that I didn't see that earlier and just live in it all summer. So yeah, super gladly. Some of those are hit and miss, I hear. What vintage? Is there a way to block the op when they ask such stupid fucking questions? Would you take a pile of money for a slight inconvenience? I'm curious how you're currently living, that living in a van would only be a slight inconvenience for you. Living in a van would be a benefit for me. I travel a lot, I climb, mountain bike, I'm looking at getting into surfing once COVID is over. Being able to take my home, and everything, with me whenever I want to go somewhere. Shit, I'd pay for that, let alone being paid. Absolutely. If there really aren't any rules, then I'd just park it in my driveway. I don't care that much about sleeping in a van for half a year, assuming that's the criteria. They didn't even take the time to make ridiculous rules. I'll live in the van, shower and eat at my house. I'll choose April to October and I'll be good on weather. I could buy an air mattress without having to touch the 100 Kelvin. That's where I am too. If I can keep my house and my family can still live there, then I'm in. Done so. I'll take it in cash, please. Catch, the $100,000 is in Taco Bell gift cards, Mr. Beast style. I can get $50,000 for them, I'm sure. I think Op had no clue how much millennials want to desperately run away and live in vans. It's BC number. I make enough money that this would actually cost me money isn't interesting, so no one would upvote it so it doesn't get posted. I don't think I could. Even though that would be almost double my annual income in half a year, the other prices are too high. Wife and 2 daughters under 6. No way we could all live in a van, that would leave just me in there. No way I'm missing 6 months of my kid's life for that. Nothing says you can't live out of it in your driveway. That brings up the question of what living in your van means. Like, just sleeping. No access to your house. No access to any other living space. r//VA dwellers. You guys are getting paid. Yes, BC, it probably costs less and I make the same amount I do in a year. For 6 months. I make 20 Kelvin lol. Look at Mr. Moneybags over here. I lived on the subway for 3 months for free. I'm in. Yeah, exactly, I've lived in a tent, a storage unit, a small car with 4 other people, like bring it on, I've always wanted to live in a van. Dirty Mike. With my current salary, I would have to save money for 20 years to get $100,000, so the prospect of earning it in just 6 months seems more than attractive to me. Not only that, you get a place to live too, and a vehicle. You make $2.40 per hour. I think he means savings. Would take 20 years to save it after all expenses paid. Deleted. No, I would not. I have a family and I make enough money for us. Living in a van would suck and the money would be worth living separately or having all of us in a van. Family is temporary, van life is forever. All day dude. I literally just drove my buddy to pick up a van he is converting into a sick place to live. He says he loves it and he just travels around with his GF. Of course I would. I can be down by the river. $100,000 seems excessive and most of us clearly don't have that kind of money. I might pay, say, $10,000 for that experience. Oh, wait, did you mean get paid $100,000? Would I gladly receive life-changing money to go on vacation? This post is bad, and you should feel bad. Am I the only person saying no? I like my creature comforts, like hot showers and a solid bed. Somehow a minivan isn't cramming all that in. Also, I'd likely have to take me kids to live in there with me. There is nowhere enough space for us to roam around. Also, we just had a snowstorm here. I don't want to know what I'd have to do to keep everyone warm and safe. Maybe if I was single I'd do it. but it sounds way too stressful. Sounds like a great excuse to finally make it out west. $100,000 is a lot to me. I make near $140,000 and save/invest over half of it. My co-worker makes the same and his family struggles. They do like to live the fancy life. I used to feel bad for him, but now I don't. He only got himself to blame for not putting a stop to the crazy spending. So if you are responsible with your money, you will be more than comfortable with $100,000. I wouldn't mind the downvotes. Everything you said is true. People just hate to hear about other people doing better than themselves.